come along with me to set up for the St. James Court Art Show in Louisville, Kentucky. This is actually my third time setting up. Naomi had a blast riding in the booster seat on the 5-minute ride to pick it up, and then I loaded the truck. But I made a grave error. Notice how I wasn't able to finish that transition. That's because I loaded up my vehicle in Shelbyville, Kentucky, and then drove the 38 minutes downtown Louisville to discover I did not load my tent or my tent weights. Per usual, my husband saved the day by driving all the way back to Shelbyville, getting my tent and weights and bringing them back to us downtown. We just laid everything out on the rug and tables until we could erect the tent. This year, I had a ton of repeat customers and even some people who had bought paintings from me last year and decided to share with me how they installed the paintings in their space. This wonderful beauty named Boredom Has a New Best Friend found a new home, and of course, Naomi had to get in the photo. I ate maybe 5 or 6 of these delicious pretzels throughout the weekend. They're the best. And then, of course, my favoriteest painting in the whole wide world, Ode Truth / Pink Lemonade, found a new home. It was really nice to have all these moments and have my kids present. Funny enough, Naomi was there during the morning because she was in fall break, and then Kingston actually came by after school because he just had to see Mommy's art show. Normally, the St. James Court Art Show is my biggest event of the year, but this year that happened to have been the Cherokee Triangle Art Fair.
How's it going so far today?
It's going good. It's going really good.
Oh, I'm sweaty. That's the end of day 1 for St. James. It was a great day. It was super busy this morning. I had to do inventory on my prints. I need to restock some and figure out what not to bring tomorrow. I'm a little salty. Some of the big parking conglomerates have taken over. Normally where I park, they have doubled it and also made it much further, so I have to walk a whole extra block and a half. It was really hard on my body. And someone else was telling me that where they normally park, they've upped it to $30 for 4 hours. So, These events are always tough because, for example, this one lasted from 10 to 6, but then I had to get here at 8:30 to find parking. So I thought I was going to come home and soak my feet because I've been going for over 12 hours. A text that I will not have the help I thought I was going to have tomorrow morning to package prints. I stayed almost an hour later today just so I could do like inventory on the prints, so I would only have to work tonight to like sort through like exactly what needed to be packaged, what's overstocked, those kinds of things. Long story short, I thought I was gonna be resting, but now I'm trying to decide if I'm just gonna fight through this exhaustion and stay up late, or if I'm going to rest and trust that my body isn't gonna betray me and I can wake up early enough to do all the work that I thought I was gonna have help with. So that's fun. This is the unglamorous side of doing art festivals. I tried posting on Facebook, Instagram, and sending a few texts, but it was too last minute to get any help for Saturday. And then, surprise, surprise, my little minion was up late. On these longer days, I always feel especially guilty for not being able to spend a lot of time with my kids. So when she wanted to get extra cuddles with me, I definitely obliged her. And I just kind of looked at the big stack of prints that I had to package and thought maybe a miracle could happen. And then when she saw the camera, she decided to put on a full show. So hello world, this is Naomi and this is Simba. At this point, I think it was about 10 o'clock at night, and I don't know where my other shoe went, but with the limited mobility I had left, I got her back to bed. After little mama went night-night, I stayed up another couple hours. That way I could be super organized so that when I got to the festival, all I had to do was just unzip my tent and, you know, all of my stations were laid out. I knew that getting there early was probably not even in the realm of possibility because I now needed to use that extra 2 hours to package prints. Ultimately, I'm glad that I went ahead and just knocked out the prints, even if it was just to, you know, cut some out so I could package them there at the festival, because prints do account for a big portion of my income. It's day 2 of the St. James Court Art Show. I sound terrible, but I've given myself a pep talk and decided I'm just going to thug this long day out. My tent is mostly set up. I had to cut it short because the night got really long. Because I left my tent and my weights back in Shelbyville, that set us back about an hour and a half. And at that point, I was just dog tired. I also forgot to mention that I didn't have my table fully set up. So like what I would display my purses and my journals on, and then I had to put the print rack together. Lord, hi, it's me, Shakia, and this is my assistant pimple. Yesterday, I literally can't stop. My pimple is interrupting me. I'm from stress, by the way. The show started at 10, And yesterday I got down there at 8:30 and there was no vendor parking. So I was like, I'm gonna try to get there at 8, maybe even 7:45 because I'm feeling frisky. That's not the case actually. Kind of like do an audit to make sure like the pricing's what it's supposed to. I need to like reprint some signs that I typically use that were just coming apart, or I've realized because of
at the next light, turn right.
I realized because of the traffic flow, like I need signs in different spots. So that's what I'm kind of taking care of. I didn't realize that they jury early. Most places will say like, hey, like, by the way, the jury starts at 10, like it's showtime. So like 9 o'clock comes and there's like a lady like tugging at my wall and I'm like, hello, can I help you? And she's like, I want to see your work. And I was like, form that no, they start the jury bright and early. So, yeah. I always try to pivot and take what I've learned from the first day to the next day so that I can improve the customer's experience, but also improve the overall number of paintings and prints that find homes. One of the things I had to do was bring my brand new printer with me. One, it served as a work area for when I did have an assistant come. They could easily package prints outside the tent. Then I just used my portable battery to power my printer so that I could print signs for things like the buy one get one 50% off print promotion, or even just something to announce that I do free delivery on paintings, just anything that someone would need to know. Saturday was still super busy and I had to rearrange my booth a couple times to account for paintings finding new homes. When it came to the large linen painting that's 5 feet tall, it actually took 2 of us to package this baby. One of the things I love about vending in the Belgravia section is the fact that the traffic is one way and it gets super congested. And, you know, it does make people have to stop and look at your booth, which is great for a vendor. We moved pretty fast and I'm just really grateful that the person who was across from us didn't mind us packaging in their yard. The owners of this painting actually bought it Friday and decided to wait overnight to come and pick it up at a more convenient time, and I'm super flexible, so that worked for me too. I got some really cool visits from people that work with my mom, that work with my husband, and even some repeat customers like the Barnes sisters. They are super nice, and they met me when I first exhibited at St. James like 2 or 3 years ago. I often try to take photos of collectors. It helps me remember their faces, but sometimes it brings up bad memories. You're gonna have to bear with me today. Today is today. Already tried to compose myself, but excuse me, I had a collector come by and she bought some prints from me for her nursery. But when I saw her, she wasn't pregnant anymore. So you can connect the dots on that. And then you know, we talked for a bit, both kind of comparing stories, and we trauma bonded over losing both having an infant loss over the summer, and it was very draining, and I had a hard time coming back from that and focusing on the task at hand, which is being present for this art show. Afterwards, I had to get some more pens so I could sign prints, and I went to bed. I'm here for the final day on Sunday. This is what my tent looks like, all zipped up. Sometimes it's exposed on the bottom because I like to use every square inch for paintings. I was really fortunate that my younger cousin responded that she could help me out, so she got there at around 9:30 and stayed until like 5 o'clock to help package prints, and that came in super handy because so many of my prints sold out. It was really nice being surrounded by all the colorful art and all the cheery people because I was still pretty drained from the day before. I hadn't realized it, but my grief had kind of unearthed and just had been sitting really heavy on me. So I'm just so grateful that everyone came out. These were the best-selling prints from over the weekend. You can find them at ShakiaHairsArt.com. Now, this wouldn't be a Shakia story without a bit of mayhem. So here I am thinking, I'm driving home. I'm calling my mom to check in to see how the kids are doing. And while we are on the phone, my son got the great idea to throw the iPad through my mom's TV. So instead of going home and unloading the car, I went straight to Target, figured out the model number on her old TV, found a replacement, and took that to her house. Fun times. And in case you're wondering, I did not beat my child, although I did think about it. Instead, he is earning minimum wage, doing odd jobs around the house to pay off his debt.